Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Red and White Show. Joining me for this one, former Rovers defender and now club chaplain Barry Miller and club Doncaster media manager Liam Hoden. Barry, first of all, how are you?
Yeah, doing good, thank you. Had a good day, so...
Good stuff. Liam, only really one place to start. The news that broke at the back end of last week, in Terry Bramall agreeing to significantly increase the playing budget. Fans, I suppose, sceptical a little bit, given that they've heard things like this in the past. But all the noises we're hearing is that it will be significant. There is going to be a real push for Rovers to try and win promotion next season.
Yeah, being told, the kind of rough amounts that we're looking at, it is a significant investment, a significant improvement on the budget for this season. And that will, James Coppinger's made no secrets of where Rovers are at the minute this season in terms of the budget. This will kick on, substantially, and that automatic promotion is certainly within reach with that budget.
How big a difference, Barry, can it make, to a squad when you hear the noises that, the owner wants to really push it and make money? You've, of course, with John Ryan, when you first came to Rovers, you know what it's all about.
Yeah, I think it can make a massive difference. Obviously, my opinion, the squad now is competitive. We ain't had the rubber to green. Some of the performances haven't been as good as what the squad is capable of. But I think it'll be a massive difference. I just think it lift the players as well, because they know that maybe players will be coming in their positions, so it might lift their game as well. So yeah, I think it's fantastic news, and I'm sure we'll go well next season.
And it sort of opens the door a little bit for Danny Schofield and James Coppinger, doesn't it, Liam? Because much was made in January of really having to maximise every last penny that they had to get what they could in January. But it would be different in the summer, wouldn't it? Having a bit more flexibility to really browse the market and not having to necessarily always go for one bracket of player. Yeah,
it certainly opens it up. As we've spoken to James Coppinger several times about plans for the summer and things like that, and it's there's a couple of different options on the table. This opens up another one that they perhaps didn't even consider would be there in terms of the market that you can shop in, the kind of wages that you can offer. It does make a massive difference. January was tough. It was a balance in the books exercise. They were expected to come out of the month in terms of in a similar position to what they entered it. So players moving on, that freed up money to bring players in. That's where they were. So there's not a massive amount you can do with that. This is a whole new ball game.
I think. Sorry to interject. I think you can see with Gillingham, they spent money in the transfer window, and it's made a massive difference to how well they're doing now. They've gone on a good run. They've climbed up the table. So it does make a difference if you're able to spend money to bring possibly better quality players in. It's more attractive for players to come.
Barry, talk to us a little bit about your role then, just moving off that topic for a little bit, as club chaplain now, of course, former Rovers defender. How did you get into that role, and what does it now entail on a day-to-day or a week-to-week basis?
So I've been a Christian pretty much all my life. A guy who's a mentor, he's a father figure to me, Pete Ramos, he was chaplain at Barnsley. So obviously I played here, I left, had a period of time away, and unfortunately the previous chaplain became ill. So they were looking for someone to replace him, so my name come up in the conversation, and because of the links, there's people that I know from when I played, so because of the links it was kind of a good fit, so I took the role on.
And what does it look like now? We see you every now and again down the training ground, don't we? Sort of there for anybody, should they need it, the players and staff alike.
Yeah, I'm just there to support people, really. I'm independent, it's voluntary, so I'm not beholden to the club. So if people just need someone to speak to, it's not just for the players, it's for the staff, it's for their families. I've spent time with players' families before, kind of helping them, supporting them. So if anyone just needs a bit of a shoulder to cry on or an ear to listen, that's what I'm there for.
Back in the day, 73 Rovers appearances between 2000 and 2003. I think the transfer fee was £10,000 back then. What would a Barry Miller at centre half nowadays be worth?
Probably 12 grand, 12,000. I don't know. Who knows? Do you know what? I just know that it's such a fantastic club. I remember playing against them when I was at Farnborough. Such a big club, especially in the conference at that time. So when the opportunity came, especially to get away from Gillingham, that was a horrendous time for me. So to come here, to be able to actually play, and I think I did quite well. So just loved it here.
Good stuff. Time for one of the latest Rovers players to take part in the quickfire round now then, with Zane Westbrook up next.
Zane Westbrook, 26. I was born in Chertsey in Surrey, raised in Woking, currently live in Chobham. Was Woking Cougars. Tottenham. Was either Tom Huddleston or Luka Modric. Still Luka Modric for longevity of career, staying at that level for that long. Best goal, I mean, best / most important was opening day for Coventry against Southend, 1-0 win, my first professional goal. Tom Davies, probably, Doncaster Rovers. Favourite place to eat would be any Italian restaurant. Go-to cheap meal would be Burger King, Chicken Royale. Heights. Any non-football talent? No talents, average everything. Oh, cook. Golf. Yellow Jackets. Off music at the moment, I'm podcast crazy at the moment. Last film I watched was Murder Mystery 2. Someone with serious bad luck. Who would I like to be playing me? Maybe Adam Sandler, actually. I quite like that. Was Hvar, Croatia. Something I could actually do or something I'd want to do?
Whatever you want.
Either property investor or golfer. Probably transportation. I'd probably say golf was my childhood obsession. Ooh, I'd probably take Hursty's pace. Yeah, because I could do with some of that. Yeah.
Liam Zane, a couple of cameo appearances to his name and then a start at Gillingham on Good Friday. Particularly against Crewe in difficult circumstances, there were some bright sparks there for him, weren't there?
Yeah, he comes on and offers, some energy, some attacking impetus, and I think we've kind of lacked that a little bit since Charlie Lakin went down injured. Obviously, Harrison Biggins offers that as well, but I think certainly in that Crewe game, you saw a little bit of what he can offer, and the opportunity is there for him now to go and kick on, and it's a big period for him personally. I spoke to him for the programme for this game, and he, the stuff that he's been through, the difficult times at Bristol Rovers, all he wanted was an opportunity. He took that risk in January to go out and leave the club and embark on being a free agent. He had to bide his time to the last day that free agents could be signed, and he's come in, and so far so good, and it's a big opportunity for him to put himself in the shop window for whatever may come. Will it be here, will it be elsewhere, but a good chance for him, and he has to make every second count, and I think we've seen him really take that on.
But it can be difficult for any player, can't it? As a free agent, I think he spoke in the press in midweek as well about, you're not really a professional footballer. Once you're a free agent, you're sort of on the scrap heap a little bit. You have to work your way back in, and to his credit, he's come in and done that, and then got to start at Gillingham. So he's clearly paying off the work and the patience he's had as well.
Yeah, it can be really difficult. Obviously, you're competing with a lot of free agents, and luckily for the last day he managed to get a club signed for Rovers. He come on. I didn't see the Crewe game, but he come on the previous game. And he looked like he had some nice touches. So he's come with a good reputation as well. So it'd be exciting to see how well he does, especially like you said with Charlie Lakin being out. He looked really good in the performances or in the appearances he made.
Now Charlie Seaman's got a recent run in the team of late, and he says that's down to a lot of reflection on his performances in training in particular. So Chaz, going into the second game of an Easter weekend, just how challenging is this period of the season? 2 games in the space of 3 days, and then all of a sudden you've got to recover for another one at Harrogate 5 days after this one.
Yeah, definitely. It's just important that you look after your body on and off the pitch. You got to make sure your recovery's right and you're ready to go again. Whatever games come up, whether or not you're playing, you got to be ready to come on and make an impact, or obviously start and make an impact. So yeah, it's just important you look after yourself and your body, make sure you're ready to go.
Because when you look at it, the Gillingham one being such a long distance away as well, you're taking a lot of hours out of that recovery period, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. It's a long drive back down south, but whatever time you get to sort of look after yourself, like diet, getting the fluids on, you just got to make sure you're on top of it, making sure you're ready for the Grimsby game. Yeah.
This Grimsby game itself, the season, you don't want it to peter out, do you? Playoffs looking at quite a way away now, but this is a chance for the players to really get up for it. A bit of a local derby-ish. Grimsby not too far away. They're going to bring a lot of fans, and it's one that you shouldn't struggle really to get yourselves up for. Yeah,
definitely. Everyone's playing for something at the end of the season. Whether or not you're in a playoff position or not. Personally, every player, even if you're playing for pride or playing for a contract or you're going back to your parent club, wherever it is, everyone's playing for something. So we've all got to work hard as a team. Try and get results. Like you said, it's a local derby, so it's a game that we're going to be looking forward to, and game we're going to obviously want to win. So we're going to work hard on the training pitch and make sure we're ready to go.
I think it's a handful of starts now in this latest stint in the team. How have you found this one in particular?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, like I said in a previous interview, the results aren't obviously going the way we want. But for me personally, I'm just trying to give my all to the team. Trying to obviously play as best as I can. Try and put myself in a good place going towards the end of the season. And I think so far I've done that. I think I can help the team a bit more. I think everyone can, but I'm trying to work as hard as I can and try and have a good end to the season.
One of your best performances actually came on the left, didn't it? A position we're not so used to seeing you in a Rovers shirt, but one that you played quite a lot at when you're on loan at Maidstone.
Yeah, I've played. Yeah, like you said, I've played on the left quite a bit. But like I said before, wherever I'm playing, as long as I'm helping the team, that's all that matters. I enjoy playing multiple positions, but at the same time, I also enjoy sticking to one. It is what it is. Whatever the manager needs, whatever the team needs. I'm happy to accommodate in whatever position needs filling at the time. And obviously, I'll do my best to have a good performance in that position.
You were in the team around Christmas and New Year. You then had a little break out of it, then came back in, of course, a few weeks back. How was that sort of reflection process? And I suppose listening to the manager, the reasons why he took you out, and then the reasons why he wanted to put you back in again.
Yeah, definitely. I think the manager, he pulled me and said that he felt my training standards had dropped a bit. And, like I've said before, having a manager that sort of talks to you and tells you what he needs from you is really important. We don't get that a lot from a lot of managers. So it was nice, straight away I knew what I needed to improve on, needed to do on the training pitch to get myself back in the team. And straight away I came in the next day back on it. Sometimes as a player you don't really notice that your standards have dropped, and managers see that and coaches see that. So it's nice to have someone to tell you that. And like I said, I came back in ready to go the next day and got myself back in the team, so I'm happy about that. And like I said, it's just about finishing the season off strong, as best as possible.
Liam, I think it was that Mansfield game in January, wasn't it, where Charlie Seaman were I think taken off at half time in that game. James Brown came in and he'd replaced Noyley in January, so Charlie may be thinking, listen, it's going to be difficult for me to get back in, but he's forced his way back in, hasn't he? Like I said just before, the link there, because of his reaction and the way he's worked in training, which has obviously impressed Danny Schofield.
Yeah, and another one I spoke to for a recent programme, and another one who were very, very honest about the position we're in, and he said Danny Schofield had mentioned when he took him out that he felt that his standards in training could be a lot better, and that lit a fire under Charlie. He knew what he had to do, and he went out and did it, and all credit to him. And then in the couple of substitute appearances he had before he started on this run of starts, he impressed. We know he can offer a variety of different things. He's talked about that himself, his versatility. I think he's desperate to nail down one particular spot, but he can bring all sorts, particularly going forward. We watch him in training, and the way he strikes the ball, he's probably the best ball striker at the club. And I know he'd like to show more of that, when he's out on the pitch. But yeah, all credit to him for taking it in the right way, responding in the right manner, and giving himself an opportunity.
How big will that be for the manager, Barry? A player who's been in the team, then been taken out. You're waiting for that reaction, aren't you? You wonder, right, how is he going to take this? And the fact he's taken it well and sort of knuckled down, got to work, and forced his way back in must be as pleasing for the manager as it is for Charlie himself.
Of course, I think it's a credit to Charlie. I mean, obviously he's come from non-league, so to adjust to full-time football takes a while. We've seen that with him. Since he's been back in the team, he's been really good. He's putting some really good performances, especially like you say, going forward. He's a threat. You know, he's a good crosser of the ball, can deliver the ball well. But yeah, credit to him that he's able to knuckle down, take it on board, and knuckle down and actually work hard. And it shows. You know, I try and tell that to the young kids that I coach, that it's all about having the right attitude. Sometimes that can get you further in ability.
After the success of our recent junior takeover day, here's a roundup of the day's events. Liam, once again, seeing the great work done by the foundation to start with, putting it all together for Junior Takeover Day, and then seeing the smiles on the kids' faces as they got to work. Yeah,
it does just like an awful lot of work for the foundation, coordinating it. You're talking about 20 kids spread out across the stadium, across match day as well. It's a tremendous amount of work and great work that was put in, you know, to make it a success. But now we talked about it before in terms of what the kids get out of it. It's a fantastic experience, and now great to see smiles on faces.
I suppose it's not until you watch a video like that where you really realise just how much did go on the day. You know, you're very sort of on the day doing your job and explaining to the child you've got what you're doing. But then when you watch it all back, you think, wow, yeah, that quite a lot happened on one afternoon.
Yeah, some unbelievable experiences, like things that you know you'd never expect in terms of like working with a referee or with the ground staff or things like that. Some fantastic stuff goes off.
Barry, moving on then to Grimsby on Easter Monday, the second game of a busy period in the calendar year, isn't it? Just how tough is this for players? You know, you play on the Friday, you've probably got one session, and that might even be recovery before you've got to go again on the Monday.
Do you know what? I always was. I'm not saying I was a fittest, but I was always okay with that. You know, I think you just enjoy playing. Obviously, there's a recovery. You know, you might have a few bumps and bruises that you need to get over, but yeah, you just look forward to the games. Especially, you know, you have a Christmas period where games come thick and fast, and especially over Easter. But you should have the fitness, you should have the recovery time to be able to deal with that.
Liam, this one brings back good memories, I think, for Danny Schofield and for Rovers. The reverse fixture, perhaps one of the best performances and results under him so far. If Rovers can replicate something like that, then they'll go a long way to probably getting the result on Monday.
Yeah, that's it. I think the big part of that was the kind of relentlessness and ruthlessness shown. Probably not as controlling a performance as what others might have been over the course of Danny Schofield's tenure, but they took the chances when they came, and it were a fantastic day out. You know, one that will really stand out when you look back on this season. You know, and that's it. I think we've seen that ruthlessness has been lacking. If they can find that touch that as they did that day, then you know it'll take them an awful long way.
Barry, Grimsby not had the greatest of league campaigns, but they've certainly caught the imagination of their fans with a cup run, haven't they?
Definitely. Sort
of playing at some of the biggest teams in the country at the minute. You look at Brighton going there. I know the result didn't go their way on that day, but going to Southampton and winning, even though they haven't done as well in the league, I think they'd have taken that if you'd have offered them the cup run at the start of the campaign.
Yeah, it's always nice to go on a cup run. I remember our time at Donny, we went on a decent cup run and they played Scunthorpe, local derby. So yeah, that would have been a massive thing for them. But I'm hoping that because it was such a distraction and they would have lost kind of a bit of a momentum, so that we can go there and get the win that we're looking for, really.
And Liam, Paul Hurst done a really good job. You know, he did a good job when he was first there, then sort of went back when they were in a bit of a vulnerable position, weren't they, to say the least, in the National League, but got them up last season, and they're comfortable, aren't they? For a first year back, I think they would have taken that.
Yeah, you look at the record, it's very, very mid-table, you know, and they will certainly be happy with that. You know, not every team can come and bounce straight through and really challenge at the top end, and you know, being in the league and re-establishing themselves as an EFL club is a massive thing. And obviously, as you mentioned, that cup run will ensure that this is a memorable season all around. It's
not happened for one reason or another in recent weeks for Rovers, but this type of game, you know, 3,000 I think plus travelling fans coming here. These are the type of games, aren't they, where Rovers can maybe restore a bit of that faith among the supporters and get them back on side.
It certainly is. You know, having a packed away end automatically lifts the atmosphere in the stadium. You know, the home fans always respond and ensure that it's not all the away fans that are making the noise. That you always get that. But again, as the players are in here waiting to go out, the message is clear. You've got to lift yourself. They'll be buzzing at that end of the ground. You've got to keep them quiet. You know, it almost not becomes like an away game, but you're facing the similar sort of thing, keeping that crowd quiet. So you've got to be on it from the start. You've got to really take it, and then again that can build some confidence if you do have a good start to the game.
How do you see this one playing out then?
Again, I think it'll be tight. You know, I think it's just where Rovers are at the minute. You know, there's not, you know, down to the bare bones. It's fair to say and things. So I think will be a tight one. As I say, I expect Grimsby to come, you know, lifted for this one. But I do fancy Rovers to edge it. You know, maybe 1-0.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I was thinking. I fancy us to nick the game. I think always going away, when I played, the fans were always really good, you know, especially at Rovers. They were fantastic, especially, I mean, at home they're good, but especially away. And I think they'll be able to lift them. I think we'll get a result, yeah.
Barry, Liam, thank you for your company. Thank you at home for watching on as well. We'll see you down here on Easter Monday as Rovers take on Grimsby.